This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 735, 3 Reasons Why It's Hard to Cultivate Gratitude and What You Can Do About It, by Cylon George of spirituallivingforbusypeople.com. And I'm Justin Malik, your very own personal narrator. Welcome to Optimal Living Daily, or OLD for short, old for shorter, where I narrate the best blogs I can get permission from to help you optimize your life. I have a post on gratitude, but before we get to it, thank you to Talkspace for sponsoring this episode. Talkspace is an online therapy company that makes therapy affordable, confidential, and convenient. They let you choose from over 1,500 licensed therapists. For a special offer just for you, come by Talkspace.com/old. That's Talkspace.com/OLD. So I messed up a bit this week. A couple of days ago, first Hanukkah started, and I like to point out holidays, but I had recorded ahead and wasn't paying attention to dates. Luckily, it's still going on, so I can still wish you a happy Hanukkah if you're celebrating. And then second, we just crossed a 2-year mark of this show. How crazy is that? That was also a couple of days ago. So yeah, I didn't even notice. I knew it was coming up and definitely paid attention last year at the 365 mark, but it passed by quickly this time. So I just want to say thank you for making this happen for 2 years. I couldn't keep doing it without you being here and listening. It means a lot. And here's to another 2 years. And on that note of being thankful, let's get right to today's post as we optimize your life. 3 Reasons Why It's Hard to Cultivate Gratitude and What You Can Do About It, by Cylon George of spirituallivingforbusypeople.com. You've probably heard about the numerous physical, emotional, and spiritual benefits of gratitude, according to the latest scientific research. The findings show that the regular practice of gratitude increases happiness, improves relationships, promotes better sleep, improves emotional intelligence, increases self-esteem, improves career success, improves your marriage. Need I go on? Gratitude is almost universally recognized as having a 100% upside as far as overall health and well-being goes. It takes only minutes a day to practice. Oh, and it's totally free. If this were a blockbuster drug, I'm guessing you'd be willing to pay good money to get your hands on some. The gratitude gap. So why is developing a consistent gratitude practice so hard to do? Turns out that even as we've become more aware about the benefits of gratitude, our practice is not caught up with our knowledge. Based on a 2012 gratitude survey of over 2,000 Americans, authors Emiliana R. Simon Thomas and Jeremy Adam Smith write, quote, "The results so far show that gratitude is very important to Americans and that they actually feel grateful for what they have. But how often and in what circumstances do people actually say thanks? The results reveal more evidence for a phenomenon sometimes called the gratitude gap. Given how often they feel it and how important they think it is, Americans do not express gratitude very often." End quote. It's hard to admit since I'm a huge advocate for practicing gratitude, but I can identify with this finding. I often have to be reminded about the importance gratitude plays in my spiritual development. It's one of the reasons why I'm so grateful for Thanksgiving Day. When I'm feeling pressured or stressed, gratitude is often the last thing on my mind. More often than not, I'm preoccupied with the 1 or 2 things that are going wrong rather than all that's going right. Can you identify? 3 possible reasons for the gap and how to close it. I have a few theories about why the gratitude gap exists and persists. Number 1, gratitude runs counter to the idea of self-sufficiency. As powerful as the idea of gratitude is, there's another that may be even more powerful, the self-made man or woman. Since the Enlightenment, with the decline of faith and the rise of science and reason, we've come to think of ourselves as masters of the universe. We've also internalized this view, thinking that we are total masters over our own lives. To regularly practice gratitude means staring square in the face of the myth of self-sufficiency. Think about it. If you practice gratitude regularly, you are probably thankful for things in your life that you have no control over, starting with your life. You didn't bring yourself into being. You have no control over the fact that you need to eat and breathe. You don't control the weather. But these are all things we rightfully give thanks for because these are all gifts bestowed to us from outside ourselves. When you say thank you to someone or express gratitude for something in your life, you're basically saying, I could not have achieved all I have achieved or be all who I have become without you. I'm thankful that you are a part of my life and that you have contributed to my well-being. I see you, and I don't take your presence in my life for granted. Who knew 2 simple words could say all that? How can you close the gratitude gap? In the foreword of the book Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss, Arnold Schwarzenegger opens his essay with this powerful statement: I am not a self-made man. It's rare and refreshing to see someone so successful speak the truth about his success so plainly. He goes on to pay tribute to the many people who contributed to his success. To close the gratitude gap, we need to remind ourselves of our dependence on each other by continually declaring, I am not self-made. Number 2, we routinely take each other for granted. You've probably heard the saying, familiarity breeds contempt. This often plays out when we take people close to us and the benefits they bring to us for granted. It's amazing how quickly our appreciation of something someone does for us can become an expectation. The first time someone picks up after you, you're grateful. By the third time, it becomes an expectation with no need for recognition or gratitude. How many of us simply expect our kids to pick up after themselves with no encouragement or praise? How many of us feel like our hard work and contributions are largely invisible at work? How many of us have had our romantic relationships go from sizzle to fizzle because we no longer see the need to praise, compliment, or thank our partner? Too many. How do we close the gratitude gap? Remember this powerful quote by Tony Robbins: turn your expectations into appreciation and your whole life will change. Number 3, we don't take the practice seriously. In many circles, gratitude is considered a soft skill. Depending on how you define soft, that may be true, but what's not true is that successfully establishing a gratitude habit is easy and requires no intentional effort. The people who have truly mastered gratitude all have one thing in common: they don't leave it to chance. They systematically and intentionally develop routines designed to make them express gratitude on a daily basis. Some ways to systematize gratitude: start a gratitude journal, write a thank you letter a day, practice the daily examen, do gratitude meditations, thank a loved one every day. Regardless of what system you choose, the critical component is to practice gratitude daily. Intentionally incorporating gratitude into your life is a surefire way to close the gratitude gap. Commit to closing the gap. Has the gratitude gap stopped you from harnessing its full power? It's time now to close the gap so you can unleash the power of gratitude in every area of your life. When you commit to doing so, not only will you radically change your life, you'll change the lives of those around you as well. You just listened to the post titled 3 Reasons Why It's Hard to Cultivate Gratitude and What You Can Do About It by Cylon George of spirituallivingforbusypeople.com. A therapist can definitely help you with this kind of stuff, and Talkspace is a great company to try if you don't want to deal with actually going into an office, waiting in a lobby, and all the awkwardness that comes with seeing a therapist. Talkspace makes it easy to connect with an experienced, licensed therapist. They have over 1,500 of them who you can pick based on your preferences and for the fraction of the price of traditional therapy because it's online therapy. You can send your therapist text, audio, or video messages or do a live video chat. It's up to you, which I love. And Talkspace therapists are fully licensed and go through a rigorous screening process in addition to thousands of hours of supervised professional training. So to match with your perfect therapist, come on over to Talkspace.com/old. As a special offer just for you, you can use the code OLD to get $30 off your first month, all while showing your support for this podcast. That's the code OLD and Talkspace.com/OLD. And that will do it for today. I hope you're having a great one, and I'll see you over the weekend where your optimal life awaits.
Hey, this is Dan from the Optimal Finance Daily podcast, which is a lot like this show, except more focused on personal finance. Justin handpicks the best posts he can find from blogs and authors like Ramit Sethi, Mr. Money Mustache, and more, and I read them to you 5 days a week. So if you enjoy this podcast, come on over and subscribe to Optimal Finance Daily too. And together, we'll optimize your financial life.
You've been listening to Optimal Living Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode and head to oldpodcast.com. That's OLDpodcast.com for a free gift as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.